Hey guys, this is the correction for an elevated hip and QL release. So we're going to get right into it. It's side lying. Again, we're going to be using either our yoga belt, a towel, or a scarf. So something you can wrap around and get a good grip with. So this one, I sometimes like to kind of get wrapped around the lower legs before we lay down. So then we're gonna come right onto the side of the hip here. And if they just have one side they're releasing, then you want to lay with that side down. So the high hip is on the side facing the ground. So if you're elevated on your left side down, okay? So oftentimes I do have people do this one though, both sides. And again, that's because you're releasing QL and glutes and piriformis and all the psoas muscles as well. But you want to even it out at home. So usually people don't necessarily know their high side. They just know like, oh, I'm tight. You can tell them because you're the practitioner. You're doing the assessments and evaluations, so you know if they have a high side, like what side they need to do. But you can also have them do like, just like with the pelvic tilt, they can do more reps on their high side, and maybe 3 to 4 on their high side and 2 on their not. But oftentimes, like if I'm doing a yoga class, we're doing the same amount of reps on both sides unless it doesn't feel good. So this is our setup. We get all set up, and so I'm above my ankles, okay? So I am just above my ankles. I'm low enough that my belt's not gonna slide way up my low legs, but I'm not on any joints, okay? And then I'm gonna support my head like this. A lot of the time with the practice at home, I actually do like people to use a pillow, and the reason for this is so that you can use your lower arm to help with your resistance. So it's nice to have that extra strength in your low arm, but sometimes it makes people get really twisted, and so I don't want that. I want them to stay really lined up. So this is again more experiential. You kind of learn more as you do more. But yeah, I like the extra arm. But again, if you think people are going to get like too twisted or come out of their alignment to grab, then just using the arm underneath is fine if they can really get all the action with that top arm. So this is our setup. Our head is in line, our neck is lined up, our spine is pretty nice and straight. And then I've got my legs stacked, right? They're bent and stacked, and they're just bent a little bit. And then I'm going to draw them up to about a 90 degree. So my hip, it's hard to see from that angle, but I'm at about a 90 degree angle here. Maybe a little less, but pretty darn close. And then my lower legs are almost at a 92, maybe a little bit in from that. And then I'm gonna get this great grip on my belt. And my legs are relaxed. I'm gonna take a nice deep breath in. And as I exhale, I'm gently bringing them up. And again, just like our other moves, I could go all this way, but see how that compromises the integrity of my hip? That's not what we want. So we want to come to that feather edge, right? I'm just bringing my legs up high enough that when I press down, it activates QL and activates all that pelvic muscle on the inside and outside, all that good juiciness, okay? So legs are here, legs are relaxed. My hands and arms are doing the work. Nice deep inhale. And exhale, pressing down into that belt now. Now, some people's feet will really activate as they do this, and that's fine. That's totally cool. As long as the legs are pressing down, that's what we really care about. And as long as the legs can relax when it's time to relax. So nice deep breath. Exhale, relaxing. And so when you're doing this on yourself, you can feel your hips activate and your hips relax as you do this. Big, deep inhale. Exhale, exhale, relaxing, right? We need that juicy, extra subtle relaxation. And then big, deep breath in. Exhale, press down into the belt. And if shoulders get compromised, it's just like yoga. We kind of remind ourselves, oh yeah, I don't need to scrunch and roll and all that. Just meeting my own pressure. So I'm pressing, 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 breathing, breathing, breathing. Slower than that though. Especially when I'm not talking, it's easier. So I do have people count a lot of the time. So that first one would be like count to 10 as you press. And then relax on your exhale. And then breathe in, breathe out. And press on your exhale. And count to 13. Big breath in. And relaxing. So every time you relax, the legs come a little closer this way. Big deep inhale, relaxing exhale. Letting the hips and low back and legs relax more. Big breath in. Exhale, pressing towards the earth. So they can count either 3 full deep inhale exhales here, or count to 13 with a Mississippi or whatever you use to make sure they're actual seconds and not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? I don't know how adults count anymore. I just know how I count and how my kid would count. I think we all kind of have that. There's our fast count and our true count. And relaxing. Good. Relaxing, inhale, exhale. Maybe a little subtle, deeper relaxation there, deeper mobility. And then big inhale. Exhale, press down. Good. Keep breathing, keep pressing. Big breath. And exhale, relax it. And relaxing breath. And then let that flop. And settle. Good. So when you're set up at home or your person's set up at home, they can just turn onto their other side. I'm going to twist the other way so we can still see one another. And if you're moving and stuff, you can probably feel how different your two sides feel. So now coming to the other side. And again, the pillow is just to keep everything lined up, right? And then getting wrapped around. And again, you can do that whenever it feels good. If it's easier for you to do seated, that's fine. And so from here, I've got my belt is above my ankles, but below my gastrocnemius, right? Below those calf muscles. And legs are stacked and gently bent, and then they're relaxed, and I'm going to use my arm muscles to pull my legs up to more of a 90 here. So my hip hinge crease there is about 90 degrees, and I'm just below a 90 at my lower legs, my knee joint. Big deep breath in, and exhale, gently bringing the legs up. I also like to stabilize the hip joint because people do have that inclination to kind of curl and round forward, or just their hip might even come forward. I like to use like a tactile reminder, and often it's the elbow. It helps keep the shoulder away from the ear, and it helps remind the hip not to roll and collapse forward. So this is coming up. My elbow is stabilizing. Deep breath. My legs are still relaxed. Exhale, pressing the low legs down into the belt. So I'm pressing here, I'm resisting. But you can see I'm not efforting really hard, right? There's effort, but it's not like... So breathing, exhale, relax. And see they come a little closer. And I have that nice elbow there to stabilize my hip so it doesn't collapse. Big deep breath in and out. Big deep breath in. Exhale, pressing down into the belt. Good, so I'm resisting. My arms are active. My arm muscles are active. I'm pressing into the belt with my legs. Good, keep breathing. Big breath in, exhale, relax the legs. Good. Sometimes you gotta shift your grip. Relaxing breath. Legs might move a little closer to the torso. Big breath in. Exhale, press down into the legs. Good. Doing good. Hope you're liking it. Usually feels really good. And so we're doing this work on other people. This is a great way for us to keep our bodies in line, to do our own self-care, and this is awesome homework for your people. So if you need to share these videos or record these videos yourself, and you can even charge for a self-care program, whatever works. Obviously, you want to get really comfortable with this work before you're charging or really upping your prices, but once you get it, oh my gosh, up your prices, because this work is profound. It's subtle. It doesn't hurt. It releases and it stays. Big deep inhale. Exhale, relax it. Good. And relaxing breath in and out. Legs are relaxed. Hips are relaxed. Big deep breath in. Exhale, press down. Keep breathing, keep pressing. Don't let that hip collapse. Big breaths. One more big inhale. Exhale, relax the legs. Good. Relaxing breath in and out. Big inhale. If you need to do another press here, you can. I'm ready to come down. I'm just listening to my body and what it needs. It's time for my body to let that go. If you need that press, go ahead and press. Keep breathing. And then once you are down, again, continue with whatever level you're at and need to. But once you're there, integration is important. You'll hear me say this a lot. So you need to let your body have that time to integrate the work. So don't just hop right up right after you do this. Take a couple breaths. Let the body settle. Let this goodness soak in. It's important. We want this to soak, saturate, and integrate into our tissues, cells, and nervous system. We're creating new nerve loops. We are creating fresh patterns, healthy patterns, or re-establishing healthy patterns. And so we don't want to rush away from them right after we've gotten it all there. So that was for our elevated hip. That is QL and glute release. Really, you're releasing your low QL. So the QL closest to the floor is the big release there. Okay? If you guys have questions, let me know.